My name is Stu Harrison, and my Canadian story begins right here in Peterborough. I manage the Peterborough Chamber of Commerce, and we've been involved in immigrant integration issues for a number of years. I think it started with the formation of the Peterborough Partnership Council on Immigrant Integration, and that's probably true for a number of agencies in the area. It was kind of a catalyst group that brought a lot of people together, and I think it demonstrated what could be done, educated a lot of us on what some of the issues are, and involved everyone from the Economic Development Corporation to the New Canadian Centre to the Chamber. And I think it's really worked extremely well as a catalyst, and a whole lot more. They've developed a strategy, and I'm really proud of the work that they do and our involvement in it. One of the things that it triggered for us was a program called Global Experience at Work, which is provincial government funding that's been channeled through the Ontario Chamber of Commerce through to a number of chambers in the province, and we managed to put together a proposal. A lot of really good people involved in this, in particular Michael Vanderherberg, and he developed what's called the Workplace Integration Center, and they've been working really closely one-on-one with employers in the area, making connections between employers and foreign trained professionals. I think they're up to almost 50 job placements so far. It's worked extremely well. You know, it's dependent on government funding, and that's drying up, so hopefully it can continue in one form or another, but for now, to date, a tremendous number of connections that have been made, and just a really successful program. So that's one of the areas that we've been involved. I think as an overview of immigration in Canada, the statistics are pretty daunting. It's pretty much 95% of the immigrants who come to Canada end up in Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver. 95%. So I don't know how you fight that other than continuously for a long period of time. It's really the only way that we're going to do it, to make a difference, to welcome new Canadians into the smaller communities, is by continuing to try. And so that's what we're doing. I think one of the things that's happening is what I would call migration. New Canadians who have been here for a while, probably living in Vancouver, Montreal, or Toronto, find it easier to migrate out into the smaller communities because they've been here, they've figured a few things out, they've kind of found their own comfort level, and it's easier for them. Someone who's brand new to Canada, they just don't find the level of support that they need in the smaller communities. And I think we're trying as hard as we can, but I think that we have to keep our expectations reasonable. And you know, I think in the end we've had some major successes, and people certainly do feel welcome, particularly in this area. And I think it's because of the efforts of all of the people who've been involved. I can give you an example of one of those, and that's Carmela Velez. Carmela's been in the community for about 20 years. She was a typical Trent University international student story. Came to Trent, wanted to stay in the community, loved it here, and actually spent the first couple of years after Trent doing some pretty typical immigrant jobs. And these are Carmela's words, not mine, but you know, cleaning houses and doing that sort of thing. But she managed to push through all of that, and then ended up for 9 years actually being the executive director of the New Canadian Centre in Peterborough, and I think fundamentally changed the immigrant experience in this area through a number of different things, including the Peterborough Partnership Council. She was certainly instrumental in the beginning stages of that. But Carmela is now an immigration consultant, and she's doing so many things in that role, certainly helping new Canadians come to this area and helping to integrate them, because she just knows all of the ins and outs. So she's making difference in a lot of lives as a consultant, but is also involved in a couple of other things. One is a new magazine called the Newcomer Bulletin, and that's with her husband and her brother-in-law, and that's been very successful. I think they've published 3 or 4 issues already, and not easy to publish a magazine, but also really helping to tell the story, spread the word, and help with that new Canadian experience. And she just recently got involved in something that is resulting in the pre-certification of welders from the Philippines. There's a local welding shop called Canadian Welding Services that's operated by Jonathan Bennett, and somehow there was a connection there, classic Carmela, but a connection made there between Jonathan and Carmela and the Philippines, where there are people in the Philippines who are being trained as welders but then certified under Canadian certification. So they're essentially job ready when they come to Canada with all of the certifications in place. And I think if there's one thing there that we can all learn, it's that job ready nature of what Carmela is doing. And I think you could take that and spread it out to all kinds of different professions, from engineers to welders to the trades to, doesn't matter. If we can figure out a way to do that, get people more job ready than they currently are. One of the big problems is immigration. We invite engineers to come to Canada, and then we say, no, sorry, you can't work as an engineer here because you're not properly certified and properly trained, and we just throw up roadblock after roadblock. We need to get past that, figure that out, and I think Carmela's done that with welders, and so I think it's just sort of a microcosm of what we might be able to do to make things better. So kudos to Carmela, and kudos to all of the people that are involved in that specific program. And it's a direction that the Chamber is going in. The Ontario Chamber just published a new report called, I need to look this up here, Emerging Stronger is what the name of the report is. And they refer specifically to the sort of thing that Carmela is doing. And that's taking advantage of the training opportunities, pre-certification, but also then making connections with existing immigrant networks. There are a number of new Canadians who have very good connections with their home countries and can actually show the way, almost a reverse mentorship program where existing Canadian manufacturers, for example, can be finding new international markets through new Canadians. And I think there's a tremendous opportunity there, and the Ontario Chamber of Commerce is actually focusing on that. It's one of their top 5 priorities in this new report called Emerging Stronger. So I think that's my experience, that's the Chamber experience, and all I can say is that we will continue to be committed and continue to be engaged as best we can.